Hey, another week. Hip hop dance stories. We got a classic one today. It's already a classic.
Going down.
Going down.
Are they ready?
At a cold moment, you know, for my man Shock G.
Woo!
Cutty salute shot. He was there from the beginning.
Yes, he was.
We use the same director for Dropping Rhymes and Black to the Future as they did for Humpty Hump, as well as Do What You Like.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Same directors.
Mm-hmm.
That was the one with Gary Gray and them was involved, right?
No, Brian from Antipodes.
Oh, yeah, Antipodes. I remember that.
Yeah. So look at her. Here we go. Bam. There she is.
What's
Hi,
up?
guys.
What's the deal?
Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait. My bad. Hey, guys. What's up? What's happening with y'all?
Man. We're just giving it up, telling our memory of Shock G from the early days as we were filming our first two videos.
Yup. We did all in the same game with him, too.
I was about to ask you, did you do that video with y'all on that one? Because that one looked like it was so much fun.
Yeah, we did all in the same game, too. He was with us there.
Wow.
He was the one who brought Tupac, but we had met Tupac before Shock G and them did.
Oh, okay.
Not met him, but we were working with them. I don't know if they had already met, but am I right, Leg?
They were dancing, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
You are definitely correct. We got it because right after that little Shing Dang.
Yeah, I remember.
When he met Atron.
Yeah.
Atron in the Digital Underground, and the rest is history, Cuddy.
Yep.
History.
Yeah. You know, when Tupac would come to LA, he would come visit us.
Word. That's what's up. Well, maybe you can go ahead and clear the ways because, you know, they be saying that Akil. People think Akil, the MC, is Pac.
I finally saw that.
I'm like, no, he's not. Hello.
Oh, that was crazy. He told me he was getting threats from that.
That's the crazy thing. Like, it's not just him; they're threatening his family, and that's not cool. That's not cool at all.
Yeah, you say he had to stay low key for a minute because of that.
No, yeah, and do trust that.
We don't live nothing like Pac.
Whenever someone says that to me, or they put something like on one of our posts that I may have Akil on, I be going in like, no, don't start that shit on my page. He's not Pac. All right, so stop. First of all, okay, we're not gonna do that.
You know what? I never saw that until you brought that to the limelight. After then, I started seeing it more frequently. No,
it's like some of these people are like so freaking fucked up. Like it's like, like he was on Jurassic 5 when Pac was alive.
Exactly. Don't make no sense.
Come on. You know what I'm saying? Like he's been doing his thing for like, why these people? And then they
were saying Charlie Tuna was what was that? Who's that dude from what was the crew they had that Tupac had?
Who are you talking about? Oh my gosh, how am I gonna forget them?
Yeah, they were trying to connect him with him, and I was like, that nigga Charlie Tuna, tall as fuck.
They try to say his wife was left eye. Not happening.
Hey, are the Outlaws that's rapping on Smooth
Outlaws,
exactly.
Okay, so the ones that's rapping on Smooth B single, that's Tupac's cats.
Yeah.
Okay. They got one of them had a nice cadence.
They're from New York.
Yeah, he had a nice cadence. I was like, okay.
There was some nice MCs.
Mm-hmm.
That was a nice little crew. That was the whole reason I think Tupac got caught up, but let's not get into the conspiracies.
Right.
We don't know nothing about that stuff. That stuff got deeper during that time.
No, there's a lot of stuff with that. Like I'm just like
it's way above my G grade.
Yeah, DMX, that was a nice let go for him. Like nice.
It really was. They did it up for him like he was a king. Like he really was.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the way they sent him home was just really, really nice.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
It fit him.
Very much so.
What's that?
That was me. One of my beats.
One of your phones?
Yeah, but it's my beat on my phone.
Oh, you trying to let us see your beat? That's what you're doing? You trying to get your beat out there? Oh, snap. Let me find
It's my ringtone.
Okay.
Yeah, let me turn it off.
Something, Cutty. What's going on? What's going on with the frequencies?
Hey, man.
You guys start being like the other podcasts. You got to like smash the like button.
Yeah. Hey.
So YouTube.
That's right. Smash the like button. You're right. Let's tell the audience. Make sure that y'all are subscribing. Make sure y'all are hitting the like button. Make sure that you're sharing the love. That's all we need.
Yeah, please. Make sure you hit the like button and share.
That's right. That's right.
And subscribe. Please subscribe.
We got some faithful followers. When the show's over, we have like a nice amount of views, but they never check in, which I understand because I'm a YouTuber for my TV. I like to watch from my TV. So hitting the like button and stuff when you watch this from TV is like that's a whole different game.
Right.
Yeah. That like button has a lot to do with what goes down.
And try to hit that shit with remote control off the Roku boxes and shit. That should be difficult.
Right. So please hit that like button.
Okay.
Please subscribe and tell a friend.
Damn.
All right, man. Y'all ready to without further ado, y'all ready for this moment?
Yes.
Y'all ready for the show?
This is wild.
We're not playing no games.
We ain't playing no games.
No pretending. No play pimping.
Hey.
Ooh. No pun intended.
No point intended. You better put that right there.
Oh, man. This cat has campaigned and carved a lane for all of us to be successful in this hip-hop boogie game. Do you know who I'm talking about, Afro and B Love?
Of course. Should we say his name, or are you going to go ahead and introduce him?
Man, you know I got to bring him in.
All right.
Without further ado.
Who is it?
My guy. My Brody. Playboy.
Woo! Yay!
You know, for a minute there, I'm like, I thought I was the guest. Who are they introducing? You know?
You are the man.
Well, first and foremost, ladies first, the queen, Afro.
Yes.
Hello, girl.
Hi, Play. Hugs to you, my friend. Hugs.
And to the fellas, what's really good?
What's good, man? It's good to see you.
Say what?
It's a pleasure to have you. We've been waiting for this moment.
Absolutely.
I was wondering when I was going to be invited. I was like, is it my breath? Is it my deodorant? You know, every once in a while when I surface, I'm like, I'm seeing what's going on. And I'm like, oh, wow, man. Maybe I owe somebody money. Maybe I owe the wrong person money.
Uh-oh.
Oh, here we go.
It was the timing, man. The timing.
No doubt.
Yes,
so is my sound good? Everything is good on my end?
Oh, yeah, you real good.
Good, yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, you even got the green screen in the back.
Yeah, well, you know, I haven't had, since working on this project, I haven't had a chance to do much house cleaning, so it's better to just go ahead and be on the other side of the green screen. Right. But I'm glad to be here. Thank you all very much.
Oh, you welcome, Play, anytime. Whenever you're ready to come on by, you just let us know. You are always welcome.
No doubt,
yes,
no doubt.
Yes, sir.
You got Mujahid in the house, our hip-hop dance story faithful.
Hey.
Mujahid.
So, yeah, Play, what's going on with you, man? Tell us something good before we dive into this, the glorious story.
Ain't much, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, since this whole COVID thing has happened, it's been like a two-sided coin for me. Prior to it happening, I didn't realize I was on the verge of burnout, so I needed the rest. But then again, you know, the cost of it in regards to, you know, the way it's affecting everyone. So for me, being the recluse that I am and the homebody that I can be, I just taken advantage of it and really getting a chance to finish this labor of love I've been working on. I think for over, you know what, Afro and Portia are the very first two people I interviewed for this documentary. So she may know better than me how long it's been, but I want to say over 6 years or around 6 years.
Since 2012.
I knew she would know the number. So I'm way off. I didn't stay in school very long. So what is that, like 8 years?
9.
Whoa.
Yeah.
All right.
But it's all good. It's all good. You've gathered so much stuff. So much has happened. You know, I've had 2 kids since we started.
That's right. Wow.
And we've even captured info. Like, I went and got pictures and everything, like trying to include all of it. But, you know, it's been so much going on. You know, we've been anxious for this documentary to come out because we know how much, you know, you put into it, Play. You know, so
yeah, I mean, I had no idea, you know, when I first spoke with Portia about it. I don't even know how we got on the subject. It was one of those I always thought about. And she was like, what, are you kidding? Because I didn't think anybody would be open, and justifiably so. You know, your story is your story. And, you know, but I just was so overwhelmed with how much people were willing to share, and the guest list and stuff never stopped. There's still more to get. That's why this thing is going to be a series. There's no way I can wrap it up.
Absolutely.
Right now we're clocking in at 2 hours.
Wow.
So just on the documentary, as a matter of fact, the name has changed. It's called And I Danced, The Beginnings. And basically what it is just everybody sharing how it all began. But then when we get into the series, that's when we will get into more of what happened in everyone's journey, and then eventually to what they're getting into. But one of the things I love, as you know, Afro, we have 2 of your young adult children in it. And with them and a couple of other youngins, if I may say so, what I want to do in the future series, the episodes, whatever you want to call them, is intertwine their stories today as it intertwines with the OGs. And to see really nothing has changed in regards to how to make it, your feelings as a person, how it coincides with your desire to vent and to express your talents in dancing.
Right.
So that's where I'm going with this. So, you know, it may seem a little odd at times, but in the end, it'll be like, oh, that's what he was doing, which is the story of my life. Ever since I've been drawing or whatever, people would stand over my shoulder and go, what's that? What are you doing? What's that? And then the minute it get done, oh, wow, now I see.
Now I see.
So all of us as artists can relate to that, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
That's dope.
Well, we're
That's really
excited. This is really dope, Play. I mean, you put a lot into it, and you have some awesome people already, you know, that has come out and given their stories. And a lot of these people I've never met, and I'm excited and anxious to hear what they had to say, you know, and hear about their stories. I should say not a lot, but, you know, quite a few. But I'm very, very excited. And so tell us more. You know, we're going to let us know when it's coming out and everything.
Well, it's interesting because the last time I was on a plane, or really in someone's hotel room, was the last week of February 2020. And I was out in LA doing advanced screenings at the colleges and universities and in a few community centers.
Right.
As well as the LA Film School as well, which, you know, my CuttyMack friends came through. And it was really using those audiences, not in a bad way, as a glorified think tank for me to be able to see the reactions, to see if I was on the right track and all of that.
Right.
Well, a day and a half before it was time for me to go home, return back to the East, I got really sick. And I wasn't paying much attention to the news. I was hearing little rumblings about something going on, but I'm old enough to know my body, as we all are. You know your symptoms when you have a cold, God forbid the flu. I was having symptoms I never had before. Coughing a lot, just not feeling myself.
Right.
So it was time for me to get on that plane, and finally I was paying attention to the news, and I'm seeing this whole thing about COVID, and I'm like, wow, I got to get a mask, because I didn't do my normal airport. I did the other one. What's the other airport you could do? The name escapes me right now.
You talking
You
about
got
where? Going
Burbank?
to LA?
you got LAX, and you got, I
Burbank.
think, yeah, it's probably Burbank, which I'm going to start using that one from now on. But anyway, so I'm driving, I'm feeling miserable, but I feel like I got to get a mask. Everywhere I'm going, they're sold out. And a friend I had had dinner with the night before, she said, did you ever think about going to a hospital to see if they got masks? So that never left me. So the last exit, before it's time for my exit to get on the plane, the point of no return, I get off and I see a Walmart. So I walk in there and I'm like, well, maybe we're so far away from LA, they got masks in here. I went in there and asked, they were just opening up. They looked at me like I was crazy. So what she said to me, my guest friend the night before, I said to them, I said, by any chance, is there a hospital anywhere nearby? They said, it's funny you should ask. There's one right across the street. And I looked over there was a hospital. I walked right into the emergency room. Saw a brother, said, yo, dude, I don't even know if he recognized me or not. I couldn't even care less. I said, dude, I'm getting ready to fly all day today. I really need a mask. Can you help me out? He didn't even say a word. He just went under his desk, pulled out a box of masks, like gestured to take as many as you please. I took 3. I wish at the time I would have took more. And that was the most miserable plane ride getting home, plus a 2-hour drive from the airport for me to get home. So I was sick for like 2 or 3 weeks. It was too new, I felt, to be able to go to a hospital for them to be able to know what to do anyway. This was all new.
Right.
And just as long as I didn't have the respiratory problems, I felt I was going to be all right, just tough it out. And it never got to that point. But all of that being said, that year, all of y'all, was supposed to be a big celebration in New York. It was going to be at the Thai Lounge in Manhattan. It was my way of all of us to come together to party and watch for the first time the finished product then, and then for it to be the announcement of it to be released shortly after the party and to introduce the series. But all of that got wiped away, as we all know, and fast forward, here we are today. And I was going to put it out on Black History Month, but I felt that was kind of predictable, but I was all right with that. But then for some reason I changed it to April 18th. And then a friend of mine with another streaming network was saying, oh, wow, you're going to be close to International Dance Day. I said, what? They said International Dance Day. You of all people don't know about that day? I'm like, no. Right. So I Googled it just to see if it was nothing. And it ain't nothing, it's something. And I'm very excited about how I feel God works, because I didn't want it just to be about the hip hop and Black community. Right. I really wanted it to be open to other ethnic groups, other dance styles who secretly or publicly love the culture from afar, but they never felt like they had that ends to get too close.
Right.
And I'm hoping the impression I give through the publicity and the things of getting it out there we want to do, that other groups of other dance forms and other ethnic groups will come and celebrate you guys and be aware of not only the joy and the fun you guys exuberate. I've always wanted to say that word, exuberate, through your talents, but to be able to meet y'all and know y'all and know the history from the dance that they do privately in their home or at weddings or at celebrations privately or publicly in their communities. So that's what's up. April 29th, this Thursday. I didn't want to start putting it out there sooner because we're in a world where there's so much stuff coming at us in regards to news and events.
Change up.
Yeah, and then also low attention spans. Let's keep it honest. So I said, what else better than to say to people this Thursday, day after tomorrow. And tomorrow we go full throttle, and, you know, we can do some things tonight. But this Thursday on the 29th at 8 o'clock. And here's the other thing I'm very happy about. I've been sharing it. I think I've shared it with you all before. If not, forgive me. When you come in to give a gift and to celebrate someone and give tribute, I don't see money with that. So this whole thing is free. It's free with no strings attached whatsoever. It's totally free.
Yeah, okay. That's a blessing. If you got a cash app or something, we can still donate.
Well, yeah, I mean, I people ask me when am I ever going to start designing clothes and stuff again, and when you go to the bottom of the presentation, I dabbled again. So I came up with a line of shirts that supports dancers.
Okay.
It doesn't say. Well, one of them does say I dance, but it's for those who just want to represent that they dance or to wear in their rehearsals or whatever. It's just that kind of gear. And I did do a special shirt for those who just do two steps. So there's a two-step shirt there as well. Yeah.
So what does the two-step shirt say? Play. What is
It says I think it says I'm a two-step master. But on the shirt, you know how you can get a diagram of where to put your feet when you're doing moves? It's a diagram of how to do the two-step. But on the back of it is the flip side of that same diagram. So it's front and back. And on the back it says follow me. Yeah.
Wow. We got Kim James in the building, Play.
What up, Kim James? King James. That's what we. she was supposed to do a rap album years ago called it King James, but I always tease her with that. But BAD in the building, Body Action Dancers, y'all.
Hey, that's right. Idol Makers in the house.
No doubt.
Right. That's right.
That's a dope name.
Word up.
Yo, so
go ahead, B.
do we start this off the regular way? Can I ask
We're
that?
going with the flow. We got Play up in here. We're going with the flow.
Okay. No, I just wanted to ask him because I just, first of all, big ups. You know what I'm saying? I feel very blessed. I know the rest of us feel very blessed to have you here and to get your story. So I wanted to ask you, as a child, when you first started, were you a dancer? What inspired you to rhyme, and what got you going so far in this whole creative part of your life, whether it was art, dancing, or rhyming?
I had a couple of interviews before this, and it's like I came up at a time where rap didn't exist. I've been teaching courses and classes in HBCUs from Miles College to North Carolina Central University and to Florida A&M University. I've spoken Duke, I've spoken Stanford, all of those. And when I speak of hip hop, I usually always say what eventually became hip hop.
Right.
All I knew, I'm old enough to remember when there was no FM radio. It was just AM radio.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So with Casey Kasem and Top 40. So, I know a lot of those, top 100 joints of those ages. And it's so funny because sometimes when that music comes on, I'm really surprised I know the words to those things. I'm so little. But anyway, the first thing that comes to my mind is Soul Train.
Right.
And one of the things that does my heart so good, amongst other things in this documentary, is I actually have two of the original Soul Train gang dancers in this documentary.
That's dope.
Tyrone the Bone Proctor,
Right.
who not a lot of people would know in regards to his contribution. Not only is the joy we got seeing him come down the Soul Train line and other moves, but he was responsible for the innovation and I think the actual creation of what was called whacking.
Right.
That eventually Madonna embraced as voguing. But I have him, and I have another woman by the name of Thelma Davis Martin, no relation. And their stories are incredible. I know they have Soul Train on BET and all of that, but just to hear the backstory, like the origin, I won't give too much away, the origin of the bump, where that really came from.
Wow.
That you got to see in future episodes. But with all of that being said, it was Soul Train. So much to the point, the band that's my driving inspiration, believe it or not, when it comes to drawing and creativity,
Right.
Earth, Wind and Fire all day. So, and others, the Spinners, we could go there, but Earth, Wind and Fire. So my father, who spent nice portions of his life in and out of the prison system, one of those returns, he came back knowing how to play the guitar, and he taught me. And fast forward, I ended up being in a band where I played lead and rhythm guitar. We was pretty much an Earth, Wind and Fire, Commodores, all those super groups. We were like cover band. We were so good. And I know you think I may be saying what I'm about to say because it's me. I wish it wasn't me saying what I'm about to say. We were so good that bars that had no business having children in them had us in there as the house band and had to like kind of hide us, hoping they wouldn't lose their liquor license, having us in there. But that's how good we were. We wanted to be a musician version of the Jackson 5. We were so young and unbelievable. But then life went on. I'm seeing things that influence me, and I want to re-emphasize, rap did not exist. We didn't have the images or the inspiration that young people have today. My idea of success was the Superflies, the exploitation films. And my father being successful, as I choose to call him, an urban pharmaceutical engineer. Seeing his success, seeing the latest cars, how he dressed, all of that stuff. He was of the Nicky Bonds era and all of that, and knew those cats. Right. So, and a matter of fact, the kind of places we went to go to the barbecues and stuff, cats, black people who own ranches and forget about it, you know, driving hours to get to their homes, mansions and stuff. So when I went to school, and we used to have this thing called the assembly. I don't know if you're old enough to remember. You had to wear dark pants, either black pants or navy blue pants with a white shirt. I think it was like one Wednesday every month. It wasn't every week. But the guests that they would have to try and tell us about success, it didn't relate to me. You know, they're telling about being doctors and this, that, and this. What's outside of my front door, I'm not seeing those people. I'm seeing the Superflies and the Cotton Comes to Harlem and across 110th Street. So subliminally, I'm thinking that's my life. That's what's meant for me.
Right.
My father ended up robbing a bank. He ended up making the front page of the 2 top newspapers in New York City.
Dang.
My mother was embarrassed, thought that brought shame on the home, justifiably so, but I saw it differently. Because when I went about the community and went into the local candy stores, penny candy and all that stuff, they're like whispering. Because my father is naturally bald. He was bald before there was a Michael Jordan. He has no hair nowhere on his body. So his nickname in the streets was Skull or Scalp.
I can't do it.
So when I went into the stores, the locals, I'd hear them whispering, going, you know whose son that is, right? Whatever, whatever. And they would say, and they'd give me free candy and stuff. So I'm like,
street celebrity.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, if you do this, you know? And even the local thugs, the stick-up kids, and back then it was purse snatching and stuff like that. Right. And hands off, you know. As a matter of fact, it was a couple of times where I'm with my friends and we get ready to go to the movies, because it was about how we got our money back then was being in the local supermarket and asking people would they let us bag their groceries and help them to their car. And hopefully they hit you off with some change. So the stick-up kids and the bullies would wait. They knew when cats did that and had a pocket full of change. Your pockets is bulging. So they'd be like, yo, you got any money? And you go, no. And they go like, yo, if I find any money on you, I'm going to punch you in your face.
Oh, no.
So they tap your pockets and hear the change and you'd get got. But mine didn't happen. Sometimes I'd be with my friends and they'd rip off everybody and leave me alone. And they'd look at me like, is this a setup? So I'm seeing this. And my aspirations, to make a long story short, which is too late, was to be those type of dudes out there in the streets. They had the cars, they had the girls, they had the local fame, ghetto celebrities, I guess we called them, and all of that. So for me, now we're entering into the 70s. I'm really out there. I'm out there doing things that I shouldn't even be on this thing with y'all right now as far as early grave or jail. You know, a couple of incidences, there were some real close calls that I know I would have probably turned myself in if things went left. So anyway, all of a sudden I call myself hanging out with a group of guys that's still cool, latest sneakers, gear, all of that kind of stuff, but We ain't out there doing it. They ain't out there doing it like I'm doing it. And I want to start acclimating myself with that crew. And we're going uptown and we're hearing these tapes coming back from the Bronx, Manhattan, you know, Love Bug Starsky. You already know what it is. Cold Crush Brothers, Grandmaster Flash. And it's like,
Right.
make a long story short, God just basically used hip hop to save my life because I was always into women. I'm really into it then. I'm seeing the way the girls are reacting to the guy on the mic or on
Right.
the dance floor. I'm like, yo, I could do that, or at least I can fake my way through part of it. Because back then, your rhymes weren't as complicated as they grew to be. Back then, it was at the age of 1. I just begun at the age of 2. I knew what to do at the age of 3. So I just was charismatic with that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And next thing you know, we could get in deeper in it. But what was in the basements and the community centers, something comes along called Super Rap. I mean, not Super Rapping. That was my favorite joint, Super Rapping by Grandmaster Flash and the Fierce Five. But Rapper's Delight and the group I'm with in the neighborhood, we're making noise. We're getting sought after to come to Jamaica, Queens, all areas of Queens, up in Manhattan, all of that. We was called Quicksilver and the Super Love MCs. Myself, Playboy, Herbie Lovebug, Romeo. Then eventually we grew to Prince Charm and some others. And then Kid was part of a group called the Turnout Brothers. His full name was the Kid Cool Out, with Rockin' B, Clevio the Rockchild. I know I'm leaving out some others, so that's what started happening. And as life went on, and I could go deep if you ask, it evolved into what we knew today. That I didn't have a clue. All I wanted when we started making records was beginning to be made. All I wanted was a 12-inch single. That's all I wanted. And for those who don't even know, a 12-inch single is a giant piece of wax you'll find at your grandparents' home. It's one song that lasts forever. And it's I guess it's 12 inches in size and specs. But that's all I wanted. I never knew 4 albums would come.
Right.
Music videos, movies, NBC cartoon series, Marvel comic books series, the list of Burger King commercials, all of that stuff. I never knew. All I wanted was a 12-inch single because I knew if I had that, I'd get her, and her.
Wow.
Was the Super Lovers, was that the same group that did Judy James or no?
No, I don't think so. We never. Well, we did do a recording that just basically flopped. They were playing it in the park. They were playing frisbee with it, so that's as far as it went.
Yeah, you did great. Next question, yo.
Cool. Yeah, that leads me up to this. Now we can spit some game. So we're gonna go to the origin.
I should have never mentioned women with this guy. Oh man.
Right here.
Oh man.
No, we chop game, no play. We don't do no shit, no catty patty stuff.
I told you don't have to behave. He sent me a text saying, "Play, do I need to behave on this one or whatever?" I'm like, "Do you, man? I can hang."
It always comes back to the dance. Like I said, like last week we had Gorgeous Dre from American Pimp. I know that we're the only hip hop dance podcast who's ever going to have Gorgeous Dre on the podcast.
My God.
Back to the dance. We ain't talking about no girls or nothing. But check it. The origin of the name. Playboy.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to apologize.
Go ahead.
Because in '89, I was looking at Kid and Play. So I just mistaken you for one of those cats like Romeo, Casanova, one of those dudes. But as you might remember, V-Love, we was out on tour with this Jewish cat. And I was like, man, I need to get to the hood. I want to spit some game. He was like, you sound like Play. I was like, nah, man, Play's a lover. He's not no player. He was like, no, Play has an impeccable mouthpiece. It was fucking Jesse Itzler.
Jesse, you know Jesse Itzler?
Jesse James?
Yes.
Yes. So now I'm like, okay, no. A Nordic European can't really tell me about this game. So I got to really get deeper. So as a street dude, he was like, bro, mouthpiece, impeccable. So then one day we chilling at the Classic, the place where you make your name. We at Val Young's house, and we just talking gang. And she was like, it was like a movie. Had her little smoke. Man, that Playboy, that mouthpiece. And then I knew, I was like, okay, he is a real one, right? So explain the origin of the Playboy name, Cutty.
It's very interesting. There was a point that felt like it was like so urgent. You'll never guess what was so important to me to have when I was coming up. It meant everything to me to have. Now, when I ask this in my lectures and stuff, they'll go like a car, jewelry, money, girls. No, all I wanted was a nickname, because the guys in the neighborhood on the come up, the coolest ones had nicknames. Choco Bean, Beanie. I mean, I could go on forever. So there was a part there where I was really awkward. When I got accepted to the High School of Art and Design, I got introduced to this group of guys. It was 4 of them. And interestingly enough, all 4 of them, each one of them was from a different borough in New York. No 2 came from the same borough. I don't know why they embraced me, because this was when my father, I believe it was the prison stint for the bank robbery, was his longest stretch. And things were lean. And my mother was a single parent with 4 children.
Right.
Me, 3 sisters, 3 girls, outnumbered. So anyway, I go to this school, and these guys are cool. Back then it was the Quarterfields, the British Walkers, the Mocknecks. Me, I'm like maybe a size 10 and a half. My father's like closest to a 12. I'm wearing his shoes, which is by the young people's status. His shoes was cool for his crew, but not for my crew. But it was deck, boat sneakers, and shoes that I just thought I could just get away with. And these guys could have been really merciless, but they didn't. They let me hang. And I would draw what I would have loved to have bought and wore. At the time, graffiti's big, and what became real popular is painting your name on your Lee jeans on the side. Back then it was the bell bottoms. It wasn't no straight leg or none of that, or skinny jeans, none of that behavior. Yeah. So anyway, I became a master at that. But at the same time, when things were going well and my father, when he was free and money was flowing, I was the only person in my neighborhood who had a Z50 Honda mini bike. Not no moped, a miniature motorcycle. That particular item really cost me more trouble than it was worth, because first of all, I was the only one that had one. So I was like, I couldn't hang out with my friends and us ride together. They didn't have one. Right. And then at the same time, my father's away. So I kind of felt like my protection was off. You know what I'm saying? So I sold it. I sold it for $350. Do you know how much worth $350 is to a young cat? Yo, forget about it. So I go to Delancey Street. Afro, you know something about this. I go to Delancey Street and I go buck wild. Dang. Then on top of that, now I'm getting a name in the neighborhood for my graffiti on the pants leg. And not only am I doing cats that are average, I'll say, in the neighborhood, now the real ghetto stars is coming at me to want to do their jeans. And these cats is like, you know, how much? So I think I charged like 75 cents a letter or something like that. And they would be like, they want their jeans right away. They want them like next week for a party or something. So they said, how long is it going to take? And I knew I had other orders to do that I was way behind. So I would say, oh, a month or something. They're like, no, they would just give me like $100 to go at the front of the line. So I needed there was 2 other guys who was doing this, and we were all kinds of in competition, but how you could tell they did the jeans is they had a signature. I didn't have a signature yet, but I mastered the Playboy bunny. But when I did my Playboy bunny, I did it with a tilted ear. So when anybody saw that jean, they saw that bunny with the tilted ear, they're like, oh, Christopher did it. I didn't have the name yet. They said Christopher did it, or Chris did it. So now it's getting out there, not only among average cats, but the ghetto superstars, cats that are, and what saved me, because most of their jeans never got done, because I was so far behind. What saved me was most of them, ended up going to jail, like for a stick up or a robbery.
Right.
So I didn't have to worry about giving them their jeans. They were in jail, and they just gave me like hundreds of dollars. So here I am with some money, notoriety with the jeans and stuff,
Wow.
and now I got clothes from selling the bike. Now my game is stepped up. But on top of that, the crew that I mentioned that embraced me around the way, these cats had the women on lock. There was one particular summer that all of them were messing up with their girls. I was the nerd in the group. There would always either be late coming outside to catch up with them. So when I would try and look for them, there would be a particular way we spent a certain amount of days on a certain corner. But when it was time to go to the park, when the sun went down, 127 Park, Booty Land, they would walk we would always walk a certain way to get to the park. So I would try and hurry up. It meant everything to me to catch up to my boys, whatever. But I would go by their girls' house to see if they came by there, if I could catch one or two of them. And the girls would be like, nah, he ain't here. Chris, can I talk to you for a second? What's up? Is so-and-so fooling around on me? I know he is. You can tell me. What ended up happening over a period of time, I ended up being a listening ear. Because I would just stay on the porch with them, waiting for them to walk by. Well, to make a long story short, which is too late, they started having a crush on me because I listened. And then on top of that, for me to get girls, I started getting into cutting school. And what I would do to cut school was I'd watch the soap operas in the middle of the day while my mother was at work. So my game at the parties was, yo, do you know what happened with Erica today on All My Children? And the girl would look at me and go, what you know about Erica Kane? What you know about Ryan's Hope? What you know about all of those joints? And maybe that's where my impeccableness came from. So this one particular summer, 4 of the hottest girls considered at that time wanted to be with me, and they didn't even care about the others. So then it just got to the point, like, as you know, your friends messing with you, oh, Playboy, and that's how the name came about. But what really solidified it was, I'll never forget walking into, Afro, you know a little something about this, the Latin Quarter.
Yes.
And walking into the Latin Quarter, red alert is on the wheels of steel. I walk in with a pretty popular crew, not thinking anything about myself, and he yells like, yo, we got my man Playboy in the house.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there we go.
Was born.
There you go.
You know? But then from that point on, like, you know, Afro's full name is Aphrodite. We call her Fro for short. Play, call him Play for short, if you're that close to me. And that's how it came about.
That's dope.
Right, that's right. So you was pound for pound Play, so you had to die. Girls like you. Okay. What about your cologne game? Did you smell good, Cutty?
Back then, it was Dracar. Was it Dracar? No, it was Aramis. It was Aramis.
I had Aramis and Dracar.
It was yeah. But you know what's so funny?
And some Paco Rabanne.
No, just those two, because I like the smell, I like the presentation. It was cool, but you know, it was interesting because I started taking the name really seriously. And one thing no one could accuse me of is if I had the privilege and the honor to be intimate with a young lady, no one could ever say that I said, we say it now, I hit that or whatever. That was up to her to tell or for them to assume, which would normally be right, but you never heard it from me. That's not what a Playboy did. You know what I'm saying? You had, you know what I'm saying? You had some discretion, and the fact that hopefully the young lady trusted the fact that, you know, you didn't humiliate her like that. That was something I didn't do.
That's right. Good for you, Play. That's what's up.
She said, good for you, Play.
So now that we got that out of the way, hopefully.
Right. Now that we're gonna move it right along. Let's go.
What you got, Fro? Give me some idol maker stuff. Give me some stories.
All right. So idol makers, you know, I can honestly tell you, being a part of that, you guys seem like a huge family. And, you know, over the years, we've heard different stories about the idol makers. I've actually heard more than what I actually knew, you know, within the last 2 years. You know, you guys working at Alexander's, or no, was it Sears, Alexander's?
Sears and Roebuck.
Right. You guys working there, working with Martin. Hearing all of that, it just further just confirmed how close you guys were. But that transition from going from working there into becoming Kid and Play, was that pretty hard, or was that something that you just, I mean, because you just let us know about you going into Latin Quarters, you creating this name. So now, how did y'all transition to that?
Well, when we had the two groups, which was the Turnout Brothers and the Super Lovers, life kicked in.
Right.
And a lot of the members, you know, were beginning to have children, or let's just say our parents were beginning to getting a little agitated, like, all right, what are you guys going to do with your life? You eating inside the house and home? You know, what's up? You going to school, work? What's up? Excuse me. So the pressure was on. Mm-hmm. And the two that was left standing with still some flexibility was Kid and myself. Kid and I still wanted to keep rapping. We were, you know, there was no casting call to cast a Kid and Play in life. Mm-hmm. We were friends, like can finish each other's sentences, hung out whenever we could, double dated, whatever, all of that kind of stuff. That was real, along with Herbie and a couple of others. But what happened was, the misconception is, which is good for storytelling, when we were all at Sears and Roebuck, we all weren't there at the same time. I was the first one that got the job. Mm-hmm. That was when I really wanted to straighten up my life. I finally got my GED barely. Mm-hmm. So I was trying to get on the right path. Some things had happened that my mother had witnessed. I didn't want to see that look on her face anymore. Mm-hmm. All of that. So I was trying to straighten out my life. But one of the things about all of us, we were all going through the pressure of our parents coming down on us, like, even if you're going to school, part-time job, whatever. So when I got the job, I told Kid about it, because Kid's father was really coming down on him. So he got the job. Then told Herbie about it. Then being there, Salt and Pepper, Cheryl and Sandy found their way there, being Queens College students. Then Martin worked at the gas station across the street from the Sears and Roebuck we worked at. I think it was a Hess station. Mm-hmm. And then eventually he left there and went to work there, but I had already got fired and I was gone. Oh, okay. And then next who got fired was Kid, and then next who got fired was Herbie. So it wasn't like we were all there at the same time, but we all stayed friends. So for me, being who I was and whatever that means to everyone, they would always, like, the great thing about that job was you were a telephone sales representative. So personal calls, ooh wee. You know what I mean? Like, yo. So when I would be home twiddling my thumbs or whatever, they would call me and let me know they're about to get off, and for us to all get together and meet, you know, somewhere, Friday night, payday, whatever. So the first time I met Cheryl was Herbie and another mutual friend by the name of Janai calling me to come hang out with them, to go to this very popular roller skating ring in Jamaica, Long Island, Queens, called Laces, where all the thug cats was at. You know, Fat Cat, Pappy Mason, Jughead, all of them cats. Mm-hmm. Herbie and I were fascinated with that element. So a lot of times we just wanted to be under the same roof watching these guys, and we did. We really put our lives on the line quite a bit. So that's how I ended up meeting Cheryl, and then eventually Sandy. Now the interesting thing about Sandy was I knew Sandy from our Super Lover days, because she always would be at the parties we were doing. And the reason why Sandy stood out was she didn't dress like everybody else. She dressed in leopard skin when leopard skin wasn't in. She would just be like, really stand outing, but it was admirable to see the confidence and the individuality she had, not conforming to what everybody else was wearing. Right. And she just was a supporter when we rocked, and we rocked. So what ended up happening was, as Herbie did go to a trade school, and he had an assignment to create something, which was the answer to the Dougie Fresh Slick Rick record. And Herbie knew of my aspirations as an artist at that time. Mm-hmm. And I'll never forget when he signed the deal with They used to be with Pop Art out of Philly.
Okay.
That went awry. But when he got the deal with Next Plateau, shout out to Eddie O and Jeannie, Janine, he came with the check, I guess the first check, signing check. And he pulled up in front of my place. I had the front room in the house under my parents' wing. So anybody that honked, that was my window. And he's in this Mercedes. I'm like, dude, where'd you get that?
Right.
He's like, never mind that. Come on. I said, where are we going? Man, just come on. And that's when he hired me to be the designer, to work on photography with them. I have photographs, negatives of them that has been unseen.
Wow.
Wow.
But to work on eventually the logo, which is the famous logo now, and eventually their other outfits. And that's what was my position before even being an MC. But as they took off and I hadn't seen them for a minute, felt like a long time, but it really wasn't. Kid and I decided to be a group called Fresh Force. And we did cover records, like Run DMC had My Adidas. We had a record, there was a cover off of theirs called My Skeezer. Y'all know back then, they weren't called groupies then, they were called skeezers.
Right.
Falco had a record called Rock Me Amadeus. We did a cover of that called Rock Me.
Okay.
Curtis Blow had If I Rule the World. We put together a girls group called the Celebrity Club, and they did a record called If I Rule the World. That might be the first pro-woman rap record that was really ever done.
Wow.
With Dina Sperling, Allison Bailey, and I'm missing a third one. Maybe it was just them two. I'll figure it out. But anyway, so all of those records I just mentioned, we did well. We had the tri-state area. I don't know how many times we performed at the Latin Quarter.
Right.
Believe it or not, Ohio. Believe it or not, Jersey, Philly, all of that, And then when it was time for the independent labels to want to know what Herbie had next because of the phenomenon of, I thought I could turn that ringer off. Because of the phenomenon, I'm sorry, you guys.
Okay.
Because of the phenomenon of Salt and Pepper, which wasn't called Salt and Pepper then, they were called the Super Nature MCs.
Oh.
Because of the dispute they had with Pop Art, they didn't feel like it was worth it to fight the name. But what was funny was when people heard that record, Let's Stop the Show, or the Showstopper.
Yeah.
The thing that people hooked onto, there's a rhyme in there. It says, "We're the Salt and Pepper MCs." It was just a rhyme. It wasn't their name. So they were really called Super Nature. So when people saw them and was talking about the record, girls and stuff was going, "Yo, the Salt and Pepper MCs." And they just said, you know what, let's just call ourselves that. And that's how that name came along.
Oh, wow. Dang. Those fits that you were making for them, and those were impeccable. Those leather jackets with the joints on the back and the you're a dope designer, man. Like you made a lot of landmarks within hip hop with that style of dressing and those clothes, especially with the designing aspects of what you guys wore as Kid and Play and Salt and Pepper. We're all seen as stylish people.
Well, I'm sorry, I had no idea. It's like for me, I was always still drawing in the privacy of my home, from painting the jeans legs and moving on to other ideas in my head. And I thank God that Herbie saw that in me and recognized it as something he felt was good. So he trusted me with that. Of course, it had to get his approval, and then the girls, and thumbs up. But what was amazing was meeting, and still to this day having a relationship with Dapper Dan.
I was about to ask you that.
Yeah, because at that time I didn't have Foreplay, my own store.
Right.
So and back then, as you know, Afro, and you guys too, you weren't really it unless you had something made from Dapper Dan.
Right.
But we weren't interested, Herbie and I, cut from the same cloth, we weren't interested in Gucci and Louis Vuitton and stuff. We wanted to do our own. So, the only thing to do was to design it, but to have it put together at Dapper Dan's. And what was amazing that Dapper Dan saw in me was me, I think, pretty much being the first person to come with a full drawn out layout.
Right.
Of what I wanted. Because I remember him asking me a couple of times, he said, "You drew these?" And I said, "Yeah." And then he'd come back again, "You drew these?" And I was like, yeah. But the funny thing about Dapper Dan back then, it wasn't funny to a lot of his clients. He was infamous for not having your stuff ready on time. So what Herbie and I knew we had to do was, I actually lived there for maybe 2 days and a half. Because we knew the only way, we had a deadline to have those jackets done for the Push It video. And we knew, or felt, the way to make sure he was on top of it was to constantly be in his face or around. But what was so beautiful was him, I guess because of the talent and the fact that I'm hanging around because I didn't have a car, none, so Herbie just left me there. Is that I ended up in the back where stuff was actually done, which I don't think anybody was allowed to go back there. So I saw it all. And then when he got into his trouble with that whole thing with Mike Tyson and Mitch Green and Gucci and Louis Vuitton finding out who was knocking off their logos and creating that stuff when he got shut down, when I finally made enough money to do my own, it wasn't only for me just to do that. It was also for me in homage in an abstract, unorthodox way to pay tribute to him, to take the torch, to do what he was doing. But my place was in Queens. So I ended up doing The Girls. I ended up doing Us. I ended up doing the first 6 pilot episodes or first 12 episode season of Def Jam Comedy on Martin. All those outfits I did. I did Michael Jordan, stuff for Michael Jordan. I did stuff for, I don't know if you remember the group Intro with Kenny Green. Did their outfits, Father MC.
Wow.
Stuff. Oh, that stuff that Guy did with the back on the back of their jeans or their jackets.
I remember that.
The guy that did those, that airbrushing, he lived in Detroit. I met him on tour. I moved him out of Detroit, him and his family, to come live in Queens to work for me, to be able to do that kind of work too. So in actuality, that kind of came from me as well. Quite a bit of stuff. It was my therapy, and it was just fun and stuff to do to take me away from like the Kid and Play, because the pressure was building as the fame and the fortune was rising. So that was like my therapy, my release to still be intact with the artist in me. But I praise God and I thank all those people so much for their love, and did a lot of stuff. I know I'm forgetting other people's things that I did, but yeah. Heavy D, I did a lot of stuff for Heavy D, and a matter of fact, on his Peaceful Journey album, that new logo he introduced, I created that logo.
Let me ask you this. Did you do Kwame's as well? Because that looked like something of yours.
Kwame wanted me to, but the interesting thing about Kwame, we just finished texting back and forth because I had to give him kudos for that post I saw him put up on Instagram about Shock G and Rest in Peace and others, and giving people their flowers while they're gone. And that's what the documentary In I Dance is about, is to give you guys your flowers now. But with all of that being said is that Kwame did come to me for, I guess, advice or my thoughts. But Kwame, along with his music creation, he did the same thing to Herbie, because when he was impatient, and justifiably so. So it was like, okay, if I can't get this what I needed, I'm gonna go ahead and do it myself. So Kwame did his own joint. I just said it was dope. And the same thing with his music. Herbie was taking too long as far as he was concerned. So he would just take matters into his own hand. It turned out really good. The boy genius.
I was about to say, the boy genius.
Yeah.
His whole polka dot thing, we took over with that too.
This next question, Kay, this is right here, is straight family related right here, right?
Yeah.
So I got my son's mom on here. Where is she? Where you at, Tracy?
He's there.
Jersey.
Hey,
Right? So classic. Send my son to school. He's a mathematician. He comes home. Foreplay, Dapper Dan, right? So give her comfort. Because, like I said, he had the dope job. I want to leave school. I want to do this. So doing foreplay and stuff, give him a good note of the plus side and what not to do and the bad side. So he's pretty good. His shit is fly, but give him some gameplay.
Well, the thing, if I had to choose, because I was making a lot of money then. So as a business person, I didn't get into it with you, but just to a little background, I got kicked out of 5 high schools. That's how out there in them streets I was. My first high school I was accepted to was the High School of Art and Design. Matter of fact, Ron Lawrence went to that school. Kwame went to that school. And someone else I just found out I was surprised to hear, but I don't want to get it wrong. But I got kicked out. Then I got kicked out of Flushing High School. Then I got kicked out of Bryan High School. I got kicked out of Hillcrest High School. And I know I'm leaving out one, but I ended up getting my GED. So there was a price to pay for that. Maybe if I stayed in there, I would have known the art of business.
Right.
So when I started, I had Foreplay, the clothing joint, And I also had what was beginning to be a franchise of barbershops. I had Foreplay for Men that ended up becoming a unisex thing. I had the first one in Queens. Then I had one open, a matter of fact, right around the corner from the projects where New Edition came from. I had one in Louisiana. I was getting ready to build one in Harlem, right on 125th Street.
Oh, wow.
I'm saying all that to say, the only reason why I didn't do that one is because I didn't have credit history, but they wanted to do business with me so bad, they just wanted a family member to sign on. I didn't like that because if things went wrong, I didn't want my sister to go down with me. So I walked away from it. So with all that, and it was going to be fly. It was going to be like a 3-floor barbershop. It was going to be crazy. Anyway, so I'm saying all that to say is that to be a designer and a creator, that's awesome. But there's a thing called business. So for me, at a certain point, I'm just throwing money in after things where, if the, the payroll was short for materials. I mean, I think I held my own for like 5 years, but the reason why I let it go was because it wasn't fun anymore. I was dreading, I'm about to bring up the name of something, I was dreading every time my beeper went off because 9 times out of 10, it was something I had to solve, some problem.
Right.
But what I would say as advice is know the business. I always say if it wasn't for God, I'd be a starving artist. But you got to know the business or get with someone who knows the business. Because that could be the sink or swim situation. The talent is all fine and well. And if that's what you want to do, you might want to not want to get involved. Because I find with me, Kid and I have this saying that especially when we came back, and even prior to that, it's like when it gets to the point where it ain't fun no more, we're done. Mm-hmm. And that's how I feel about a lot of things. Like even with this documentary, I did not go to Netflix. I did not go to Hulu. I did not go to any of them. People came to me and said, hey, I got this connection over there. You want to check it out? Let's go have a meeting. Because where my heart was at with this, I don't see why money should be in it. And for all you guys to take the time, your time is just as valuable as mine to come and share your stories and time out of your busy lives and important lives and complicate it with money. I didn't want to do that. Mm-hmm. So now going into the series, maybe we can get into that. But as far as this initial thing, I didn't want money to be involved because money can tend to ruin the heart of something. Mm. I mean, really think about where we were all at when we got into this thing that was called, depends on how old you were, was called hip hop or was eventually going to be hip hop. Remember the fun? At our parents' expense because they had a roof over our heads. We're adults now. But I know when we first started, the first thing out of my mouth, matter of fact, it never came out of my mouth, is how much we going to get? I just wanted to rock.
Yeah.
That meant everything. I came home like I got paid $1 million. Couldn't wait to get with your friends the next day to talk about how dope the last night was.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I want to revisit with this. But back to the advice piece. This generation and those before have something we didn't have, which is a lot of information available. Right. So seize it. Seize the opportunity. Take advantage of it.
I want to ask, do you get
that? I didn't bought the book, and now you heard it from Play. Let's go.
Did you used to go to the when you would go to Latin quarters and stuff? Were you in the circles? I want to know that. Like,
nah,
y'all had boogie skills, and you know what I'm saying? Y'all, yeah. I don't know if you see yourself like that, but when you guys would dance, I would be like, they hot. Like, you know what I'm saying? You guys would have things together, well organized. When you guys being choreographed, was that y'all? Like, let's go into that whole dance thing.
It's so funny, man. And, Afro, I tap on you right now again. We were everywhere. Mm-hmm. Latin Quarter, Union Square. I don't know if you remember the World. That was like a block away from CBGB's. wherever it was at, we were there. We'd risk our lives. I could remember times, so many times, you know, being from Queens, we were at places you weren't supposed to be. Mm-hmm. And it meant everything, and we did it, and we survived. I remember us being chased one time, and the train wasn't coming underground. Uh-oh. We jumped down into the where the rails was, jumped down, and went all the way through the tunnel to the next stop to avoid getting jumped.
Oh my gosh!
The stories I could tell you is bananas. But the thing is that when we did the music video "Gettin' Funky," I really wanted that to be the opportunity for all the dancers that frequented all those clubs and those parties we went to. I wanted them to have their shine, and I'm just glad Kid agreed. And you know, yeah, it's like I say, even in the documentary, people give us credit for our dance moves and how it makes them feel, but you ain't seen nothing yet until you see IOU, IBM,
right?
You know, TLC, BAD, Afro, Portia, you know, the list just goes on. You need to see that, then you'll understand the origin of this thing, right? And how we were fortunate enough, if we may say, to represent. But no, I never, man, a leg one and leg two, Scoob and Scrap.
Yeah.
How dare I? Are you kidding me? It's like, yo, you know, to make a move like that, we would have killed our career right then and there. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, join me over here as I do this exquisite two-step, and we good. You know?
Right.
Speaking about the two-step, let me just ask you this. Yeah, no, the kick step. Where did that come from? Like, where did y'all get the idea to do the kick step? I was scheming. I couldn't wait. When I found our play was coming, I was like, we're gonna set the record straight. I gotta ask them.
Well, I'm afraid to answer now because it sounds like there's a preconceived what you call it. Well, to be honest with you, always. We had different dancers with us. Our first dancers was BAD.
Okay.
Then we had, I don't know what their group name was, but it was Little Bit, Swatch, and Hi-Hat. Then I think Shane, and I forgot the other girls who was with her, them danced with us for a minute. But when it was time for us to finally tour, yeah, Salima, I think you're right. When it was time for us to finally tour, the promoters weren't impressed yet enough to pay us what we felt we needed to get to give audiences the full experience that they love seeing the music videos.
Right.
So we're like, yo, we know we still got to come with some dancing because people are going to anticipate and expect that. And I believe, I don't know specifically, but I know Nadine, Hi-Hat was around, and probably Little Bit and Swatch. And we brought the dilemma to him. We said, we got to figure out, we need some moves to do. But what's difficult is we got to rap and do this practically at the same time.
Right.
So it was really a brainstorming thing because one of the moves they did in Gettin' Funky is a swinging thing with their leg.
Right.
They just swing between the thing.
Yeah.
So for me to accurately say that, but I just know it was a collaboration. It was a brainstorming amongst us with them.
Yeah.
But the short answer, I just normally say Nadine or Hi-Hat. Right. But I can't say pound for pound what. I just know, as you know, Afro, you guys know, you just get together and you're having fun with the music. Try this, try that, whatever. And there it is. So, yeah.
Okay, yeah, because that was definitely a famous move. A lot of people, you know, you guys, you already know. We can't have Kid and Play without having that.
Yeah, they'll, you know, when we do shows or do a tour, whatever, they'll want their money back or burn the building down if we leave the stage and don't do that and stuff. But, you know, that and, you know, the jump over the leg one, that was a big one and all of that stuff. But, yeah. Right now, when we do those moves, we have like an oxygen tank and a bucket full of icy hot and stuff waiting for us off stage.
So when you get on the knowledge straight.
They still got it. I think you on tour a couple of years ago, bro. You still got it.
You know, it's so funny because you saw a showing of the movie that, you know, I was so proud to be able to show the moves of the Soul Brothers. But now that more has been done, I don't know if you remember that show we did with y'all, Houdini, and all of that, and you and my other dude, my man. I wish he was here. Tell him I said hello. Y'all were doing y'all were doing some moves backstage, so I was able to incorporate that into the piece. You know.
Oh, cool. Yeah, let's get on get funky real quick. And you know what's a trip, B-Love? I just thought about this morning. And after all those war stories you heard about us, B-Love, this is the only video we looked at and never wanted to battle not one dance from that video. We loved everybody in that video, bro.
Yeah, that was a nice tribute to dance.
Yeah, it really was. You guys had.
I appreciated that video a lot, man.
Yeah.
It was literally like a block party, and I remember it was done up in Harlem. And it was so funny because as I became closer with friends in my journey, being an educator in the higher learning community, people would share their stories of what these videos meant when they couldn't wait to go home in the South to watch music videos. And for a long time, we weren't called Kid and Play. Do you know what their name was for us?
What?
Too Hype.
Oh yeah,
shirts.
Yeah. So they would tell me like, "Yo, we get home and the next day at school, we'd be like, yo, did you see Too Hype yesterday?" You know what I'm saying? It took a while for them to know we were called Kid and Play. So it was funny.
That was crazy. Those are dope fits too. You made those too.
Yeah, but they were hot as all get out. They were, I wouldn't say velour, something like that with leather sleeves and the leather thing. Yeah. By the time we got through touring several tours with those joints, man, them things could stand up on their own.
Damn.
They were hard to clean because of the mix. And that's one thing I had to learn as a designer. You had to be careful what materials you put together. So to have those things cleaned, if you clean the body right, which was velour type, you do that right, but you'd ruin because I only work with butter soft leather, so you'd ruin the leather. But if you cured the leather, it was going to ruin or take the black out of the body. So yeah.
Wow.
You have to put like a layer under it or something, huh?
Yeah, but you sweat. Those things were hot. And as you know, on the stage with those lights, forget about it, man. I mean, we put those things in plastic bags, which would only make it worse because the humidity in the bag. And I'm going to share a story with you guys. Cutty Mac is going to enjoy this one. We had this thing of who was with the most unattractive girl. What was the movie that was popular out then was Batman. I think it was like the first one or the second one. The early ones were like George Clooney and stuff. So Cats was wearing the shirts, Batman. That was the big thing. I don't know how we came up with the idea, but it started getting into an argument of like, yo, we saw who you was with last night. You went out. No, so-and-so's was worse. So when we get on the bus, the tribunal, we came up with this thing that whoever was voted to have the most unattractive girl had to wear this one particular bat shirt. It was all black with the gold yellow bat signal on the thing. You had to wear that shirt for 24 hours.
Damn.
And we don't care who you are. But this was the catch. During the whole tour, very long, hot tour, the shirt can never get washed.
Oh,
no. Never get washed. So, after months of this shirt going through its thing, these guys decide to vote that one night I had the most unattractive girl. Come to find out later, I was set up. But anyway, the most unattractive girl. It just so happened I had to wear the shirt on a show date. So instead of wearing the outfits we would normally wear, the glitter, whatever,
you had the Batman.
The whole show, I had to have the Batman shirt on.
That's hilarious.
The whole show. So everyone in the crowd is like, yo, what's up with the... And the shirt is horrible looking. It smells all to hell.
I got you.
And I'm making it worse because I'm sweating up on stage.
Oh, no.
So whoever had to wear it next, forget about it. Yo, I can cry with all of the stories that oh man, it's just crazy. And it includes Tupac. It includes NWA. We were all clowning each other. I mean, all of us. I mean, all of that stuff, not to kill anybody's persona or anything. Backstage, like I remember the warning when we went through one of the southern states and stuff, nobody curse or you're going to get arrested. So in on our record, Getting Funky, there's a part in there say, "Don't even mess with me, we're getting funky." But we updated it. We said, don't even F with us, the full word, we're getting funky. But everybody's really kind of keeping an eye on NWA because they are filled with all of those words.
Right.
So now everybody's like, who's going to curse? Who's going to fold? We get up there and we do our thing and we yell, "Don't even mess with me, we're getting funky." Cats clowned us. Every time I walk by Dre or Easy or walk by Kid or whatever, "Don't even mess with us, we're getting funky." just teasing us all the time. And then there was a time where Public Enemy with the SW1s, we did a prank on Flavor Flav because two of the guys gave us their uniforms with the hat, but kids couldn't fit the hat on. So we're out there, we know the moves. So during a live show, we're part of the SW1s doing the moves, but no one told Flav. So when Flav comes over to do a gesture he normally does, he's like, sees Kid, he's like, "Yo," he's like, throws him off his game. I think he forgot his rhyme a little bit. But just life on tour was just the best, man. It'll never be back. I got so many stories that ain't even funny, you know?
So is there anything that stands out to you that just resonates? Like any moment?
Tupac, one in particular. The thing about Tupac that was so cool is that how much he wanted to be an MC.
Right.
Two things about Tupac. He loved him some Yo-Yo. This was his first time kind of, being around him. But he'd do anything for Yo-Yo. He loved some Yo-Yo. But the one in particular was he just wanted to be on the microphone. Wanted to be on the mic. And I remember after one show, the big thing is after you do the show is the after party. Where's the official after party going to be?
Right.
What club? So that's what I'm all about. I'm not interested in being at the club all night. Don't take that long to pull somebody. So I'm just going there for that. But I walk in the door, Pac and I are together, maybe a couple of other security and stuff. And they see me come in, which I was hoping they didn't. Guys on the mic, the DJ, "Yo, we got my man Play in the house. Let's get him up here and spit some rhymes or whatever." So Pac is to my left or to my right, and he's like, "Yo, come on, man, let's go up there." I'm like, "No, I'm not here for that, man. I'm coming here to get a girl. I don't want to rap or whatever." "All right, Play, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go up to the booth. They're going to give you the mic, but when they give you the mic, you give it to me."
Ooh.
That was him. You know what I'm saying? Just fun and stuff like that. So many. I remember there was someone in the crew, I don't know who they were a part of, but they were robbing people on the road. They were breaking in the rooms, or it's like an inside job, and the guy got caught. And when I look at that unfortunate footage of Pac going after Orlando Anderson, I think that was his name.
Yeah.
I've seen that before. Because when we found out who the guy was that was going in the rooms, like when we were going to do our shows, he would have access to the rooms to go get the settlement money or whatever. He was found, and you would have thought he stole from Pac. That's how his loyalty was to Public Enemy or anybody on the tour. So I had seen that behavior and that dedication before,
Right.
I remember him jumping over a couch and holding on to beat the guy down, if memory serves me well. But yeah, so those things stand out. Just remembering when, really, really good times. We didn't really appreciate it for what it was at the time. We did pretty good, but knowing what we know now, like even now when we tour, there was a time back then that everybody stayed in their own dressing room because it was that competitiveness.
Okay.
Some of them you had your friends, whatever, come in and visit, say what's up, take a few pictures, but you'd be out. And it would always be the talk of like, who rocked the crowd more? Who's getting more girls?
Right.
But now when we tour, we almost just need one big dressing room because everybody just gathers in that dressing room, clowning, telling stories. I'll never forget, Tretch, that's our dude. I didn't know Vinny had schooled us. I got it on tape, a matter of fact. Do y'all know where Tretch's name comes from?
Where does it come from, Play? Tell us.
Nobody want to take a guess? I might want to put 50 on it.
Treacherous?
Huh?
Treacherous?
You almost got it. He was a fanatic of the Treacherous Three. Kool Moe D, L.A. Sunshine.
Right.
And Special K. and that's where he got his name from. Well, God took his name from as pretty much a homage to them.
Wow.
Treacherous 3. Yeah.
Facts. There you go. There you have it, audience. Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, man, I want to congratulate you on the Funko Pop.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Like, because of you, I've started my collection. And unfortunately, I have to wait for yours.
Yeah, we have to wait for yours. It says coming soon.
Yeah, I didn't know what the deal was with that. It's so funny because the powers that be had approached me almost close to a year ago and said, hey, do you guys want some bobbleheads done? So, you know, they made the offer. Hey, why not? Mama didn't raise no fools. Okay. You know, cut the check. So I'm thinking bobblehead dolls. I totally forgot about it. Next thing I know, I get this several text messages, you know, fast forward kind of to today. And they're like, yo, is it true? Is it true? I'm like, what the heck are you talking about? And they send me a picture. And I don't know anything about Funko. Right. Nothing at all. Not at all.
We collect them now.
Yeah, I'm finding out there's a big cult following of these things and who they've done. So I couldn't put two and two together because I'm thinking, okay, who's stealing our image to do this? And then it dawned on me, my dude that made the deal. I said, yo, Rick, by the way, what's that phrase y'all say? I'm just now learning. Kid was doing it. I'm like, kid, what the heck is woo, woo, woo? So now I've been doing it for the first time. So he's like, oh, yeah, woo, woo, woo. I'm like, is this Funko? He said, yeah, man, yeah. I forgot all about it. And I'm humbled like everything else, you know, so yeah. I'm waiting for I got my first set to do that promo that contractually we had to do. Looked like Kid got away with his without doing one. But yeah, so I'm waiting to get more so I can hit my granddaughter off with and some other loved ones and stuff. So
they got you guys doing the kick step, right?
Yeah.
And does it come with the little light too? Your little
I did that.
He put that.
You're gonna have to hit me up later so I can find out where to get that because I need those little lights.
They're called Lume cubes. I don't know if you need something as much as that, but they're called Lume, Lume cubes. They're known for, some people use them for stuff we're doing right now, but mostly for lighting. Right. But I'm always looking for a reason to be creative, a reason to film. So they wanted me to do an unboxing to take my cell phone and show me opening up the box. I was like, I got something special in mind.
Yeah, you did a good job. I watched it. But I went to the site right after that.
Me too. Cool. They'll love to hear that. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, me too. I've already started my collection. Unfortunately, I couldn't find Peppa. Peppa's nowhere to be found. They even have an Aaliyah doll. They have Tupac. I got
Aaliyah.
I'm waiting for my Tupac. I have Biggie. I have Run DMC. I have TLC. There's more coming. I have some baseball player, but I'm not into sports. And I have Aaliyah. And I have Salt and Pepper. I have them.
I was supposed to get. They had Salt and Pepper at this spot out here. It's called Black Star Collectibles.
Got you.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to talk because I need those two right there.
Yeah, they have everything there. That's all they hold. So I know as soon as they get it, they're gonna have yours there.
Cool.
Yeah, that's going. I was talking. They have Run DMC.
I got that. I have the whole collection.
They have Ice Cube. You got Ice Cube?
Not yet. I don't have Ice Cube yet.
We got TLC, 2 different versions. Okay.
Yeah, I have the waterfall version and the regular version.
I
didn't say that. Oh, they're worth more. I didn't even know what that was about. I said, I think they made a mistake and sent me the mold by accident. And then when I looked at the picture on the box, I said, oh, this is supposed to be waterfalls. So I get it. Yeah. I want to give a big shout out to T-Boz. She's in this piece as well. She showed love. Got Genuine, T-Boz, Omarion, Genuine, Danny Lee, Seven, Kid, Kwame, quite a bit, excited about.
You have MC Light.
Right? I got Light. Yeah, I got Light. Some of these I forget. It's so much. That's why I shouldn't even get into names. But yeah. But yeah, ask away, y'all. What else is up?
Just real quick. I want to go deep into this. I want to keep it fun and exciting. Being like, I went back to college late as an older man, like 32, 33. And, being that age and being, how I shake and move, I was able to, hang out with the chancellor and the president and, things. So being that kid that got kicked out of school back in the day and now being on a higher level.
I got kicked out. Kid didn't get kicked out. Oh, I'm sorry.
What do you see? What do you see that's different in the school system, from then till now?
It's interesting. God my lawyer, my accountant, my agent and manager, he has such an interesting, maybe you could call it sense of humor. But, you know, when it was time for me to get it right, normally you got to pick up where you last left off. See, when Play was born at the age of 18, 16, 18. Christopher Martin stopped growing. He was limbo, or whatever you call it, stagnant. When Play had to go or know his place, he returned late 30s. Now Christopher Martin is back. But Christopher Martin isn't back as a 30-plus year old. Christopher Martin is back as an 18-year-old, 16, 18-year-old. Because that's where he was last left. So with all that being said is, it was time for him to pick up on some things that he didn't finish, and that was school. So I'm thinking I got to go to school, no matter how. But then this offer comes from, God bless his soul, the chancellor at the time, Chancellor Ammons. Dr. Albert Sloan, forgive me. This was at Miles College. I was doing stage plays then, gospel stage plays. That was an interesting journey. I'll never forget. Time spent acting on the stage with Ralph Tresvant for a long time, Little G from Silk, Tony Terry. I mean, who didn't? You know what I'm saying? We did things together. When we toured Birmingham, some of the cast was from Birmingham, Alabama, so I stayed a couple of extra nights. And some people thought it was very important for me to attend this prayer breakfast or something like that. I didn't want to go, but I was beginning to know the Lord's voice. And I'm like, there's something in this that won't let me just shuck it off. I probably need to go. So I go there and I meet Dr. Albert Sloan, God bless his heart again and soul. And come to find out, he didn't want to be there either. He didn't even want to meet me. He wasn't crazy about rap. So we end up doing this line where everybody has to shake hands and meet each other. And I guess I said something that impressed him as I was impressed by him. And he's like, how long are you going to be in town? I said I was actually going to leave the next day. He said, would you consider staying an extra day, whatever it takes? So we had breakfast, got together. And to make a long story short, which is probably too late, Miles College was going through a real fiscal crisis. They was on the verge of maybe the locks and chains closing their doors. He had this idea that if I was interested to come and eventually be an artist in residence there. And not only would I get paid, but part of the bartering would be I could take classes, choose my classes to take. But at the same time, visit as a recruitment tool all the high schools in the area to show the importance of going to college. Needless to say, no locks and chains ever got on the door. It wasn't just because of me. Some other smart moves on his end. They're big on football there. It was the Miles College Bears, Golden Bears. So they started winning. When a football team wins to a college, cats want to come to that school too. So here's this unorthodox way that my Lord hooks me up to start learning and to get paid.
Right.
You know, to earn a living. And then from then on, word started circulating, and I ended up being asked to be an artist in residence at North Carolina Central University. And I'm co-teaching with Ninth Wonder and an actual professor, Dr. Kawachi Clemens.
Wow.
That was bananas. So was Miles College, but the North Carolina Central University thing, we started, and so we assumed we just needed a regular class. Make a long story short and edit, in less than 2-3 weeks, we had to move to the auditorium because we had got signatures and attendees up to 162 students.
Wow.
The regular class couldn't hold it. And we ended up bringing in surprise guests. I have them on film too. D from Run DMC came and spoke as a friend. Trey Songz came and spoke as a friend. But we never told the students who was going to come and speak because it didn't happen all the time. And I thought it wouldn't be wise to say, okay, so-and-so is going to be here. And they would do it as a favor. So something might have come up in their schedule where they couldn't come, and then we looked bad. So we would always keep it as a surprise. So I think a lot of people, they loved the class, period, because we showed music videos. It was way deeper than rap. We went into the political science, the sociology of what hip-hop meant in New York, the whole thing of New York in the 70s and all. It was intriguing. The Lord blessed us. And then on top of that, what surprise guest is going to be?
Right.
So it was crazy. And then the chancellor at North Carolina Central University got an offer to be the president of Florida A&M University, and he wanted me to come with him. I didn't come right away, but I ended up teaching at both universities. I was on the plane like nobody's business, back and forth. Finally, I got overwhelmed and burnt out and finally chose Florida A&M University, and I was there for a while. So all of this to say, Cutty, is that I had a very interesting perspective and way of being able to view what you're asking.
Yeah.
And I did not only have the opportunity to bless them with knowledge and advice, because a lot ended up being interns and some of them still are with me, but to learn something from them. You know, I'm at that place now where certain things are said, I'll go to them and be like, what does that mean? Because I don't know. You know, I just did that the other day with one of my students who works with me, helps me out a lot with what I do, and asked him, what does, what's that new phrase now that's not good? What's the phrase they call now? Man, I should have brought up if I couldn't remember. I know it was some, it's a phrase that means when someone has been killed and they say a phrase. I know it was controversial, I believe, in the Gucci Mane Jeezy verses, one of the songs he did, and Little Durk and all of them out in Chicago. It's just some phrases that they use that acknowledges the murder of someone, and I didn't know what that meant until I was told about that. So, with all that being said, I use the youth as they use me to learn myself. But it's interesting. What I find in the last time I was in a college before COVID, even in LA when I did the showings, there's hope. There's big hope. There's hope. There's some good kids. I don't like calling them kids. They're great students out there. Big up to the HBCUs and the college and higher learning university. Big up. They don't get the news attention that they should get, but it's good. There's hope. Big hope.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good to know that we have hope in our future, because they
Yeah.
are still the future. So it's wow.
Oh,
So, you know, just hearing all of this stuff, your life has been so busy. Like, I mean, you went from being the artist to doing movies like that. So for me, you know, watching you guys, I'm like, it had to have been so exciting, such a blessing to have, you know, be doing these shows, your Kid and Play, and now you have House Party. Now you have a whole slew, like you got the sequel, you got all. How did that feel when you knew that, you know, when you got the word that y'all got a movie deal?
It was surreal, and it still is. I still haven't come to grasp of the full impact of it. You know, when I meet people and they tell me about what the movie means to them,
Absolutely.
and all of that, it's surreal. I'm gonna put a post up soon. I time my situations. I want to put up a picture of the movie Cooley High, because evidently what House Party meant to a generation is what Cooley High meant to me.
right.
You know, I see Kid and I as Preach and Cochise. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's surreal, and I think it's better that it stays that way. It's humbling, because like I said, I went into it at best for a 12-inch single. I can't. That's all I wanted.
Right.
That's all I thought for myself.
Right.
I'll never forget, like when they first approached us for the movie, I'm like, yeah, right. And I was outvoted on it. I didn't want to do it for a couple of reasons. Number one, there was a group of guys who did a movie that I'm like, if they did a movie and it didn't do good, how the heck is Kid and Play going to do a movie and they don't do it? And that group was Run DMC. They did a movie called Tougher Than Leather. I have that. That's a very hard movie to find. I think some people have paid to make sure that thing never surfaces. But I collect those. I collect those things. I had to get it all the way from Japan. But
Bad Boys did good.
yeah, nothing against. What'd you say?
I said the Fat Boys did good with their movies.
Well, that was different. You know, I'll say this about that. At the time, certain movies that were supposed to represent kind of disappointed. Like, Wild Style, loved that movie, but you know, independent film
It didn't
Right.
go
did
far
what it did.
out there.
You had to live it and know that to appreciate
Yeah.
that movie.
Yeah.
Then you had Beach Street. That we had issues with, and that was so highly anticipated because it was the first official cat, Harry Belafonte, Hollywood, that was behind this movie. But we had some issues with the casting. It wasn't very believable.
Right.
Then you got, you know, the Fat Boys and stuff. But I need to look at the chronological order of that. But anyway, there's a reason why I'm saying what I'm saying. Why I didn't want to do the movie. LL Cool J did an interview one time, and the person who was interviewing him had interviewed him before. And when he interviewed him before, it was for regular. He had hit records and stuff. And somehow the topic came up of what do you think of rappers who do movies and television shows and all of that. He said they're soft, it's whack, the whole nine.
Wow.
Wow.
Fast forward, the same guy is getting ready to interview him for the television show In the House. The guy remembered that statement LL said.
Oh wow.
So he said to him, well, back then you said this. What's up with this? So me, my human nature and flesh, you know how we are in hip hop. I'm like, got you question. Yo, how's he going to get out of this?
Right.
LL gave an answer that my stock for him went up so high. It was like, you know, like, wow. It was like one of those moments that you have. He said, he was very transparent. He said it was a great answer and an honest answer. He said, oh, I probably said that because I thought I'd never be able to do it.
What did you
Wow.
say behind that?
That was that. Okay.
Behind
He
that?
got out of that.
Blew my mind.
Totally. Is that
And there's a piece of us mostly in all of that. It's like I finally, and not like I really thought that much about it anyway, because I'm getting what I needed to get, the girls, the money, whatever guys want to say. I mean, we're all doing this, so my thought was at the time for the women, so I don't care what you're saying. But to hear people say that Kid and Play sold out when we had commercials, this, that, and this. You know when I finally felt vindicated? And these are my people, though, is when Redman and Method Man did a speed stick commercial.
Right.
Did they do a speed stick commercial? I have to look for that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And they did How High. How High reminded me so much of House Party. It reminded me of that. Like
So for me, as I observe and study human study so much, there's some of that in, especially unfortunately in the black communities and stuff, we will be quick to down things only because we feel we will never be able to experience
do
it.
it.
Somewhat of a misery loves company type thing.
Right.
wow.
So, you know, for me, I didn't want to do the movie because I'm like, yo, if Run DMC can't pull it off, who the heck is Kid and Play? And then we're making more money than I've ever made in my life up to that point, touring. So the money that they offered us, which was great money for House Party, but not like the money we were getting constantly on the road. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
But Herbie and Kid outvoted me, and we did it, and the rest is history. But, you know, as things went on, it's just Kid and I started placing landmarks in our career because we wanted to model our career. Now that we saw that it was real, we wanted to model our career, or at least to have some kind of structure and model our career like Sidney Poitier and Bill Cosby with their Uptown Saturday Night franchise or series.
Okay.
So they did 4 movies, we did 4 movies, you know, and then some. And it's so interesting because one of the many highlights in our life was right after Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was launched, Quincy was ready to do his next television show, to produce his next television show. And he came after us hard. And he wanted to do a show. Now, I don't regret anything. Some things I would do differently. But if I had to, with a gun in my back, say, what did you regret that went differently? Was this idea that Quincy Jones pitched to us to do his next television show right after Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was to put us in an apartment, and the series or the sitcom was going to be us two and our roommate. I don't know if y'all are old enough to know this name, but our roommate was going to be this comedian, Don Rickles.
I remember him.
Wow.
It's crazy.
That was Quincy's
That was crazy.
idea. And we're like, nah, we're not feeling that. You know what I'm saying? Where we're at. And looking back on it now, and Quincy and everything he touches. But shortly after that, he's like, yo, we want to do something with you guys. What do y'all want to do? So Kid, I remember the meeting. Kid looks over at me and he knows what's on my mind because I still to this day would want to do it, is to do a remake of Uptown Saturday Night. Because now we're age appropriate for it. Those guys were men in it. They weren't teenagers in it in the whole nine and so forth and so on. And he thought it was great, but he wanted to get the blessing of Sidney Poitier and Bill Cosby. So he arranged those meetings. We went to Sidney Poitier's home. I have pictures and everything. And I'll never forget, this guy didn't have a house. He didn't have a mansion. Sidney Poitier had a villa.
Wow.
It's like, whoa. So we met him, got his blessing. He embedded in us all kinds of great jewels and advice and just, it was just so awesomeness. And then it was time to catch up to Bill Cosby. Meeting him at first, it wasn't the warmest reception, but he reminds me of men of that age at that time. It's like, you youngins, what's this rap thing or whatever.
Yeah.
So we kind of sit down. Kid may correct me on this, but what I do remember kind of vividly was his back was kind of turned to us. We were all at a table or something, and his back was more turned to us than his front. It was like half and half. But somebody said something, and maybe Kid, being more versed than me, said something that made him do a move that my father does when you say something that's important or something important. I don't know if y'all have a father or a man in your life that does this. You say something, he goes, like, you saying something there. You know, that one of those moves. And that's what Bill Cosby did. He came around with that finger and like somebody said something, one of us, probably Kid, that impressed him.
Right.
And the word was later, he was good with it. And they started working on the script and the whole nine. But they wanted to get into this futuristic thing with avatars and all this stuff. And I'm like, what's that got to do with the way the movie? I want to do the movie the way the movie is. And we just never got it off the ground. But we ended up, they wanted to do a cartoon series with us, but Suzanne DePass from Motown we ended up doing a deal with her for NBC. But all of it, Afro, was surreal. It's like, I still feel that way. It's like, I can't watch myself, but when have the opportunity to channel surf and see this face, a kid's face or somebody from the thing on there, I'm like, wow. But I keep it moving. I won't stay on that channel too long at all.
Right. I get it.
That's fine.
You guys did so much, you know. You gave us a whole like platform of things to just enjoy. You guys were actually the first group to give me my first job with just doing choreography. Had me fly out to LA. That's how I met these guys. And y'all had no idea they already had me battling like the first night that I was there.
Wow. That was a Funhouse, right?
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, I mean, and that was lovely. I mean, at my age, I think I was 18 when I went out there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I was 18, but that was a big deal. You know, going to practice.
That was fun. That was one of my first, because I did get into directing, but I was kind of timid with it. So I'd be like, let me not be out in front. Let me give the concept. And that whole thing, that was major. To have LL in it, to have Tommy Davidson, Martin Lawrence, and all of that, yeah.
You guys don't even know this. V and Ledge, like behind the scenes for Funhouse, was so off the chain. I mean, we were in the back when Tommy Davidson and Martin gave us a whole show. I will never forget that. They gave us a whole show. We had both of them in the same building, and that was so dope. That was so dope.
They're working together now, I heard. Someone just told me the other day that they're working on some stuff together now.
Wow.
That's fine.
That is really good. That's really good. Wow. Man. So,
what time you want to start blasting, blasting and stuff? Or what time is good for you?
What are you talking about?
As far as our promotions.
Well, your guys are going to receive something either late tonight or tomorrow. But, you know, it's going to be in stages. But the first, you already sent you something earlier.
Right.
You could do that tonight or first thing in the morning. But yeah, it's all the way up to like Tuesday, Wednesday.
Okay.
You know, but yeah, you know, and it's going to be on Thursday, the 29th. Okay. It might be a 2-day event. It might be the 29th and the 30th because this thing is pretty lengthy. I'm still undecided, but it's going to be at 8 o'clock. It's on Streamwaves. Big shout out to Ron Lawrence. Ron Lawrence, who's been literally responsible for hits such as Biggie's Notorious, Jay-Z's still considered #1 street credited record, which is where I'm from. Stuff for LL, J-Lo, Mary J. Blige, Aretha Franklin. I mean, the list goes on. His plaques cover walls, and I ain't talking about just gold plaques. Nothing wrong with them. But he's taken his resources and his vision and ingenuity, and he says, why does it just have to be what's available to us? We don't want to overemphasize black, but black excellence, a black platform. So to have this Streamwaves, WAZE.com, for other future up-and-coming cinematographers, filmmakers, to have a home and a platform. So for me, I liked what he was doing. I thought it was no other place better than to do this over there to bring attention to it. Right. And hopefully people will support. We're not asking for anything. Yeah. So let's move that on out the way. It's right. Free. And let's hip hop, love, peace, unity, having fun.
That's right.
But now we have the opportunities and all the tools that it takes to rock for us to do what we did with hip hop before, but on a different level. But where's the unity? Where's the love? It gives me anxiety to a certain degree when I stay on social media too long. Because when I see certain people post certain things up and I work up the nerve to look at the comments, it's like a brilliant director who is considered the godfather of gospel stage plays, Mike Matthews, once said to me, he was saying it to the crew, the stage production, because he knows how people can be. We're going to be together for a long time. Things can happen. He asked to consider this. Before you open your mouth, run it by 3 questions. Is it kind? Is it true? And is it necessary?
Wow.
The third one alone makes me mute. So if we could just have that as a thought, as a funnel, as a, a purifier before we open our mouth or type what we type. Is it kind? Is it true? And is it necessary?
Dang.
And just to see sometimes the hatred and the evil, all of that, you don't know what a person is going through.
Thank you.
To put up something that means something to them, an outfit or a thought or whatever, and someone to come and crap on their thing, it's like,
it's rude. You're being a bully. You're getting on my nerve, and you let me know who's doing it, because I will let them know how I feel. I can't stand that.
And like, why? And then sometimes if you do the investigation, it's almost like the Wizard of Oz. Everybody in that story was so scared of the wizard, but when you pulled back the curtain, here's this little dude. This little dude. So here's these people. Some of them are actually them, but some of them are, here's their chance to have an avatar or another identity.
Yeah, and they go
in their thing. But you have the possibility of the power of your mouth. God says that creates murder too.
No, it does. It does. Words speak a lot. Like, words are very, very powerful.
That hurts a lot of people's feelings real bad.
No, it does. But speaking about people creating stuff, remember, Clay? Like, it's a lot of that going on. It was a person who actually went on IG and created a profile as Clay and hit me up.
Oh, I remember. Yeah.
Hit me up and be like, good. How are you?
And from what I saw, you shut that down. I forgot because you added some other thing to it to kind of shed a light on them. Yeah. And it was like, oh, whoa. And I'm hardly on there because, like I said, you have to guard your ears and guard your eyes. Mm-hmm. And me being the artist that I am, sometimes I don't want to be influenced and end up being influenced and subliminally doing someone's idea, something, and I didn't mean to do it. But at the same time, like I said, the kind of atmosphere or spirits that are there, it's like crazy. Like over the last couple of weeks is the most I've been on in a minute. And due to the fact of, with Shock G, DMX, Prince Marky D,
wow.
Like the list goes on. And outside of that, 8 people that I've known that have died, suddenly a woman that I was very serious with some years ago just recently died. of stage 4 cancer, and I just found that out yesterday, and that really stunned me. It really, really did, because she and I went through some things, and that was ours. But to hear that, it's like wow, and it's like death all around us, and
Right.
then on top of this, people unnecessarily putting out what we call those bad vibes, that bad energy and stuff. So it's like you gotta guard your heart. You gotta guard your ear gate. Shirley Murdoch one. I don't mean to name drop, but I guess I did. Shirley Murdoch, sister in the Lord, said that, but you gotta watch your ear gates and your eye gates. You gotta watch them. You gotta protect them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, the power of life and death is in the tongue. You are absolutely right.
There you go. That's right. You just said it.
Right. That's right, man.
Mhm.
Clay, this has been such a dope interview.
Ooh,
I
amazing.
mean, we were so looking forward to you coming, and please believe we talked about you coming long time ago. We are into the 3rd season, and we were talking about you in the 1st season. So it's like
We were.
Sorry.
just having you here with us and sharing stories with us and our audience. Thank you so very much. We appreciate you so much, and you deserve your flowers now.
Yes.
I appreciate that. Means more to me than words can say. It doesn't take much for me. My favorite food, even though I don't eat it anymore because I'm very health conscious, is Franks and beans. Franks and beans is symbolic of me. I don't need a limousine driver. I'm not big on steak and lobster. It's very symbolic. So, sometimes it's like, people are mentioning this, whatever. I don't need that. I mean, come on. It's like, I'll never forget something Salt did in the interview I had with her in the documentary. I said, for people who don't know your name or know about you and your relationship to hip hop, tell us who you are. And she started to say it, answer the question, but she had a hat on with her name blinged out on it. And she just took it off and put it close to the camera and said, if you don't know, and it's like, we've worked all so hard. So let the youth be the youth. Let them go through what they need to go through. But for us, we've made it. We're here.
Right.
We're here. And I thank y'all. And this means everything to be invited. I'll go ahead and say it, to y'all's house party. And please, with the gift and the love that I have for y'all's flowers, and I hope you like it, to join me and all of us on this Thursday, April 29th at 8 o'clock on Streamwaves. And just be on the lookout for more information throughout the week.
Absolutely.
International Dance Day, y'all. Recognize.
I think that's so dope.
Go ahead, Flo.
No, I was just saying that I thought that was so dope that we're doing it, that you guys are going to be putting it out then. But my thing is, I'm sorry. I know I spelled that wrong. I went back in and I changed that. But anyway, I just wanted to just tell you once again, like, I can't stress it enough. It's not like anybody else came to us and was like, hey, we want to know about your story. We want to know, how you were feeling when you were dancing for this person. What have you done? What have you been doing since then? Nobody in the industry has come to us but you. So again, we can't tell you enough how grateful we are of you. And I'm sure that's coming from not just the 3 of us, but the entire dance family that you actually sat down with and talked with. They're also very anxious to see it as well.
The pleasure's all mine, but and just to say this real quick, what I would hope would come out of this in regards to, in addition to people saying I didn't know, is for you guys to be getting calls and stuff when it's time to start doing Q&A. Okay. Take the piece, show it at schools or whatever, but to do Q&As and to get out there and get at them. Let them know.
You already know. And, my kids are available too if you ever need them. You already know. Naya and Stefan, they love you.
Yeah, I've been in touch with them, and that's when COVID hit. We had worked out a situation. I was going to come out there and get more of them, and that's right when COVID hit. I'll never forget that. I was so upset. Got you.
Yeah, COVID stopped everything.
Been a part of our world, right? What would you tell the MCs and the DJs about us? Like, what did you learn about all the dancers? Just real quick. What would you share with the MCs about us?
Your name says it. You guys exuberated, I hope I said that right, soul.
Right.
That's what's even missing in the music, the soul. Some of it. I don't want to come off like an old bitter man because I'm not. Soul. All the dancers, y'all had soul. It was in your moves. It was in your charisma. It was in your spirit. It resonated. And that's what I would tell people, is to find that kind of person, people that's your circle or in your circle. But that's what I would say. And the best, you know, find the best. That's what y'all's genre, y'all's era has taught. It's like when you see those music videos, and I would play them for the students, and they weren't aware of some of those music videos and stuff, and they would actually say, yo, we thought we were having fun. After seeing that, y'all were having fun. I swear that's what they would say. And like, wow.
Yeah.
So that's what's up.
We really had fun.
We did.
This one's for you, Cutty. You ready? Take it easy, Greasy. You got a long way to slide. Hold out.
Take that. I can't take it. Y'all are so funny.
Or I'll say to my other dude right there, is like, yo, man, you ain't saying, yo, Slick, you ain't saying nothing slick to a can of oil.
Can of oil.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, that is.
Okay, Brody.
I love y'all, man.
We love you,
Afro.
Thank you so much.
Peace. God bless y'all greatly in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen.
Yes. Oh my God, that was so dope. Oh, the jewels he dropped for us, all the information. Oh, I know the audience is loving it right now.
Bro, he left me in awe. All the stories he told, those are just dope. The Dapper Dans and the streets and the graffiti and the art and the beginnings and all that. Oh, it was beautiful.
He gave us such a piece of history. I love it. I love that. That right there. This is actually like
that was classic.
Hip hop dance stories, Cold Blooded 7. No, that's some good ones though.
Oh, you didn't give us. That's right. You didn't give us 7. You almost in 2 hours.
It's for you though, V Love. I'm gonna pick one. Which was who rocked the sample the hardest? Do This My Way or Stetsasonic DBC Let the Music Play? Who flipped it the hardest? Ooh. I played both of them last night too.
Dang. I'm gonna have to go Stetsasonic.
Think so? I don't know. I played them last night, and I always used to say Stet, but I have to give it to Kid and Play now. That shit was a little bit more crisp.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that with the mixing, yeah. Mixing had a lot to do with it. It had a little bit more pop. That's true.
Yeah.
I want to see if people are going to start remixing these songs down the line, because the kids are starting to remix a lot of stuff.
Bangles.
Yes.
Did you hear?
So V, I think that they would eventually do it because we've done it. I've heard the remix on things, so it'd be good to hear. Like, hopefully somebody could do it. Those are good songs.
I just seen what was that? Was it Just a Friend or the Vapors? This dude named Fat Boy. You ever heard of him?
Name sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He has a mad following. Like, he's big in he has a mad following. Yeah, but he did. I was Just a Friend over.
Was it dope?
Yeah, it was dope, and it was recent. Like,
I mean, but Mario picked that up. Remember, he did Just a Friend.
Yeah,
in the R&B version, but he had some of the. If I'm not mistaken, he sampled the song.
Yeah.
So
I'm looking for somebody to do one of the Dana Danes or.
Please say his name like this. It's Mario. It's not Mario. It's Mario.
It's where I'm from. It's where I'm from.
Mario.
Oh my God. Mario. I can't. Loved. What a humble spirit and testimony. Yes, Karen. Yes.
She pretends she's sweet on me, but then she in love with Cliff Love. Then she in love with Play.
That's okay, Karen. Share the love.
Love.
There's nothing like, just sharing love. Love is always good. So
you got any more? What other questions you got, Ledge? I know you had some good ones for him.
I had some good ones though, but I'm gonna save them.
For what?
Save them up.
You're gonna save it for what? For our next guest?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yo, that was real. Yo, man, I'm in awe. Yeah, he was even here. I'm still like, it was so real. You know what I mean?
It was. I enjoyed that, and I meant what I said. Of course, If it wasn't
I
for
was-
him, it's not like somebody else.
No, bro, I don't know what happened to me. I don't know where it came from, but bro, Kid is a real hardcore Cutty Mac, bro. I'm like, he know
We need to get Kid on here. We have to get Kid on here.
for
Yeah.
real. I'm walking this way, Cutty. All of a sudden, somebody came and hit with the neck chop, and this Kid,
Damn.
yeah, Brody, he's really, really hard with it, man.
I'm about to ask him right
Yeah,
now.
and he's like, Ski, who you talking about this stuff? He was like, bro, faithful, bro. Faithful.
That nigga hit you with the neck chop.
Neck chop, Cuddy.
Wow.
Yeah, he hit you with your nose there too.
You got to be a long shoe Cutty Mac to know the rib shot and the neck chop.
Right.
You
That should be
never know.
funny when I be hearing Martin do that. What you know, no good.
Hey, what about finding my boy Maharaji after 30 years? We got him.
Oh shit, he coming?
Got him. He coming. He ready.
Woo!
Apple get nervous. Look. Look at it.
What are you nervous for?
Your knees getting weak when you see that booty.
I gotta see what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. I gotta see what you're talking about.
That nigga said that booty. Ugh.
I'm so mad at that. I know.
That text was classic.
Oh my god. That nigga said Maharaji is next.
Maharaji, Cuddy, I was rolling. I mean, he hit me back instantly. It was like, bam. I was like, oh, I can't wait. That's all we got is that one story to tell, B-Love. We just looked for him.
Oh yeah, we weren't looking for him.
Yeah.
He backed off quick though.
Bro, because it was like,
He
that's
was like, I'm not having it.
That we're going to end up.
I just asked Kid if he'll come.
Oh shoot.
We knew Maharaji would be a dude that we ended up being cool with anyway. So that's all we had heard about. Quick.
They all
Pictures of this dude, because I'm not. I don't.
you know who else? You know who I'm gonna bring here?
It was like there wasn't that many videos then. So it was Posse on Broadway. But Posse's on Broadway.
I want to bring.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to bring Hammer, man.
I would love to talk with Hammer.
Hammer come.
Yeah, we gotta get Hammer, Brody.
Okay. Let's
We
get
gotta
Hammer.
get Hammer. Cause he's such a tribute, you know, he did so much for dance, like, you know what I mean? He was like the James Brown of dance.
It was
like,
because he was hitting me last night. All the let me see. Let me get my phone for you. Let me get the text. All the Wild Boys. He went and found two more. They want to come on.
oh, we gotta bring them on because they authentic.
Okay, so
They're the ones that they used to dance to Tupac.
Wow.
Now, they were bigger, Cuddy. Because remember, Hammer had to go through them. Remember?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They
They were holding down the whole Oakland.
They was holding that shit down after that shit was crazy.
They used to be a crew of them. Like, what was like 20 of
I
them?
was like, really? Yeah. For
Them
real.
niggas to get on stage, it'd be a whole group of them.
Oh, yeah. That's what's
Yeah.
up.
So,
I used to like my boys was my boys. They was fam.
Who we got? Portia next week?
We have Portia Kirkland next week. I'm excited about that. She's excited. I'm gonna go ahead and start putting out her TikTok like tonight. So I'm excited.
I'm gonna try to bring storyboard soon. So
Yeah.
if you guys heard of him.
Hey, you tell McGruber Kenny till he's upset with you, B.
I thought he was next week, but we can go Portia.
Okay,
Portia,
wait.
Portia been locked in.
Yeah,
though.
I had said that she was
Okay.
gonna come the first what is that? The first Sunday in May. So that's
See, Kenny needs to come on with KB.
Can't we just do it during? Okay, so we'll talk about this offline. But we do have a lot of people that want to come on here and bless us with their stories. And so we're so excited to get them on. And it's just been a little different this season because now we got people calling us. And so now we have to schedule them, so the good thing is, we're going into season 4. Right,
Yep.
fellas? So it's like season 4, like
It's going down.
for real.
Still moving.
And like, what are we going to do on our anniversary?
When is the anniversary? 5?
When is it?
Tony. What you think?
Tony, you trying to Y'all are so funny. Y'all, but we do need to hit up everybody on IG though. We do need
We might
to.
have to do it at the end of. Yo, we might have to bring some people on the live on IG. I think we
Hey,
should
Kay,
do
I
that.
just talked to Oliver the other day. I said, listen, Oliver, you seem a little nervous.
Oh, Oliver. Oh no, I'm getting him mixed up with
I
Donovan.
mean, we were just doing that for the dance game because the dance game.
I've been calling Oliver. He texts me. He keeps getting back, and then he'll be like, "Oh, V, I'm ready." And then,
Yeah, he wished me a happy birthday. I was like, what, Ollie?
oh, okay. So then, link up with him another time. I hit him too. I got his phone number, but if we all hit him at once and just be like, "Get your ass over here! Stop thinking we're gonna ask you the wrong questions."
Right.
That's what I'm saying, bro. It's like people be like, I looked up to Muhammad Ali. You wonder, did you really? Because that's all we doing, B-Love, is using Muhammad Ali tactics on cats back in the day.
Yep,
But
that's
really
it.
believe
That was it. Just don't take it so personal.
Yeah, that's all we was doing, Afro, was straight Muhammad Ali shit to get
We
back
different.
in.
We men now. We trying to do something different right now.
Right.
We want your story. Come do it.
Yeah, straight Ali, Bruce Lee tactics. That's all we was using.
Yeah, I've been waiting to bring Oliver though. He's gonna be a good one. He's gonna be a tribute to it.
I really wish we could have brought Donovan. That really would have been dope. But
I'm
Donovan,
still down for Donovan, and I want Pimpin.
Donovan's not. He. I don't know. Does he answer your info? Like, I mean, he'll send me a paragraph of the same stuff. Like, and that's it.
No, he'll be active for a second, and then he'll just disappear again.
Right. Like he doesn't answer any of. Like
He was talking to me for a minute on the DMs. I'll try to.
it would be good to have Donovan. I know that. It would be
He, as long as you don't, what happened was he was telling the story, and a lot of people didn't want to agree with him. Yeah, but I can't say that Donovan didn't have a lot to do with a lot of people. LL, he danced with all these people, and we did
all of them. But come on, when it comes to Pac, though,
I don't know about that. But I'm saying him being in the industry, I've been around people and I've been fluent situations, but I'm not going to sit there and tell everybody because they didn't go around and tell people.
Well, I think that Donovan.
We all did, but
I think that Donovan should tell his story because whatever he did,
I'll be able to tell his story.
Because we did see him here and there. But
we was around Pac.
But the thing is, I didn't. So that's why I'm saying Donovan deserves to tell us live. You know what I'm saying?
Without cutting him down either.
Because you have every.
He showed me an interview. He sent it to me, and he was like, they're being real skeptical about me. Check this interview out." And I went and looked at it, and the dude was like, "Yeah, come on, Donovan, how you gonna claim da 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 da?" And he was just chopping them down.
Man, come on, that's a big thing. It ain't like he said he committed a dance move. He said he created Thug Life. He created that.
Right. So, we got to know about that. Like that's
that's a pretty big. Hey, that's a pretty big thing. You know what I mean?
How did you come up with that formula? Like, how did you do that? So so we definitely have to get Donovan here.
Oh, Fendi, coming, Cutty.
Good. Fendi.
We miss Shake.
Oh my God! Today's his birthday. Rest in peace. Happy birthday!
Are you serious?
Yes.
That's crazy. I missed him.
Oh wow!
I didn't get to meet Shake, so that's for me to be connected like that and say his name.
Yeah, and Akil the MC. Today's his birthday as well.
Oh, happy birthday, Akil!
Yep.
So next week, y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed the show with our man Playboy.
That was dope, man.
Word up. Everyone, thank you for coming once again. We love you.
And now y'all see why Fro is such a big part of the show too. See how she connected with all them? She like us. She was out there doing it.
Young too.
Play spoke really highly of you.
Yeah, I really, you don't understand. Like idol makers, that's family. Like that whole crew. Yeah, that whole crew, they taught me a lot. Like I just being.
But he's always been a nice one too.
Always, but they always played their jokes. Like I told you, like it was always fun hanging out with them. But having the opportunity at such a young age to be around them and watch them working, watch them go to work, watch them handle things, handle business, it taught me a lot. So
he was waiting to tickle your fancy, Ledge. He's like, Ledge, I know you're gonna enjoy this one.
Yeah.
He was ready for your questions. Yo, that shit is dope, man. People are getting a hang of this. Yo, pass it around. Hey, you guys, press the like button.
Subscribe, share the love, because you know it's nothing but love and hip hop here.
What else, Ledge? What else they got to do?
That's it.
Subscribe, share the love. Yeah. Mash that button, subscribe, and share.
And don't forget the Cash App. I'm out of here.
Because you know why? Because we're about to have our merch. We're about to have our store.
We need that merch,
so
yeah.
You can support us with that, and we could do more for the audience. And hold on. Wait a minute.
Legend, LA Cool's gonna make our merch.
All right. So Legend, real quick, can you come up with the question? How many people we got? We got 12 people. Come up with the question so that we could do a giveaway next week. I'll be giving away I'm gonna go get this book real quick. No, I'm not gonna get it yet. It's Jamie.
We gotta give Tracy her stuff first before we give out something else. She's still looking for her shirt.
Here we go. What's up, little man?
I gotta give her a shirt. No, she's supposed to be getting her. And for you to even bring that up on here, you're funny. You're funny. I send my stuff out. You know what I'm saying? Things happen. You never know what a person's going through. So,
like I said, we family. We ain't friends.
You're so funny. Yeah, but I do believe just to speak for Mika though. I know that she did mention that she was making Tracy. I think she's sending her a few shirts, not just one.
Tracy don't need nothing. Leon spoils her anyway.
That's okay. She still needs to get her shirt.
As he should.
That's right. But we have a couple of giveaways next week. Legend, you're getting your birthday gift from Miss Jamie Brown. Yeah. Hold, let me get the book. Come on, real quick.
Yeah. Come on, man. I'm trying to. You see how much water I drink on this show, man? I got a break.
Oh, you gotta use the busy.
Woo. It's all the way upstairs. We just gonna have to see it next week.
Yes, oh, yeah.
Because I heard you talking too. I was like, you know what? I'll just wait. But we got giveaways next week, and we got giveaways going forward. So yeah, you guys continue to come through and chill with the hip hop dance crew. You know what I'm saying? Like for real.
Les, they're doing a radio. They're doing a documentary for Radiotron today at MacArthur Park.
Oh,
and LA Cool's brothers memorial celebration is at
MacArthur Park.
At Leimert Park, yeah.
Damn,
fellas.
There's a lot going on today.
Okay.
All right, fellas.
Next week, folks, Portia Kirkland
will be in the house, and we want to be back.
April 29th o'clock.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. We out of here.
What's it called? What vision? Stream Vision?
No, Streamways. Streamways.
Yeah, Streamways.
8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I'm there.
Word up.
Word up. Les, send me the link.
We will. Yeah, he's
whatever
gonna
he sends out to you.
All right, everyone.
Email all week.
Okay. I'll be looking for him.
All right.
Okay. Love y'all. Bless up.
Love you too.
Peace. Mwah.